Have you ever gone to the mall and seen those spiral wishing well funnels? They're these large funnels with a ramp that kids will often put a coin on, and then it rolls around the entire funnel. It gets all the way to the center, makes a lot of noise, goes really fast, and then drops in. And it often is for donating to charity or fundraising, and it's really fun for the kids and anybody who sees it. It's interesting. And the gospel today kind of reminds me of them because the temple in Jerusalem had a very similar way of raising funds, oddly enough. At the temple, there would be these metal horns at the treasury where people would throw money in and it would go down into a metal box, and that's how they would donate the money. And because all of their coins were different sized metal coins, they would make a lot of noise on the way down to the metal box where it held all the money. And so the idea, I think, whoever designed it was thinking, well, if I make these metal horns the way that people distribute the money in, when people throw a lot of money in, it's going to make a lot of noise, and it can alert everybody in the area to turn around and take notice of whoever was so pious that they donated so much money. This is the wrong reason to be donating to charity. It is not to be looking good to others and how much money you give. And Jesus was watching all this happen. And he was probably watching people throw in the large amounts of money and everybody turning around, maybe clapping for whoever it was. But Jesus didn't move for them. It was when Jesus watched the poor widow slowly walk up, discreetly deposit 2 of the smallest coins in existence, and it probably didn't even make a sound when she did it. This is who Jesus exalts as truly generous. And generosity is a very interesting thing to think about. It can be easy to be generous when you have a lot, especially when you come into some kind of new wealth or you have a bunch of things that you weren't expecting to have. And then it's easy to give some of it away because it was almost never yours to begin with. So like when people win the lottery and then they pay off all their own bills, maybe they pay off all their friends' and family's bills, maybe they start giving to charity. It's easy. They didn't have it the other day. They weren't planning on this. And so it can be hard to be generous though when you have to save up everything that you have. When you have to work hard and spend a lot of time waiting to just save up enough money to do something small that you want to do. For example, the widow in the first reading today, she had almost nothing. She had barely enough food for her and her son for 1 day's worth. She was struggling to survive when she met Elijah, who asked for some food and water. And she didn't want to, at first, give him the little bit of food that she had. But she was generous with what little she had. So God repaid her generosity and provided for her until the drought was over. Amazing things can happen when we sacrifice what we have and put it in God's hands. The truth of the matter is that everything that we have is a gift from God. And I really do mean everything, from the education that we receive, to the job that we have now, to the fact that we even just woke up today. Everything has been a gift from God that he has provided for in his providence. And true generosity does not look for repayment or reward, but it is done out of charity. Understanding that God has provided this for me, so I can help try to provide for others. God gives us that opportunity then to grow in charity by being generous with the gifts he gave us. We can be generous with more than just money, though. We can donate our time. We can donate different talents that we have to people. And if we are fortunate enough to help others monetarily, we should. These are all things that we can do in order to be truly generous and give true praise to God. So try this week to find some way to be generous to someone, in whatever way you can. Don't try to draw attention to it, and they might not realize what you're doing, But your heavenly Father, who sees and knows everything, will see his son or daughter working to grow closer to him.